The Krillian detention facility orbited a dying red star, its corridors as cold as the vacuum beyond its walls. Cora watched through the observation panel as the guards dragged Adam towards cell block Omega. Her mandibles clicked nervously, a habit she'd developed during her 12 cycles as warden of this forsaken station. "You're certain about this?" she asked Commander Vex, her second-in-command. "The human violated Protocol 7, Vex replied, his scales rippling with barely contained satisfaction. "Unauthorized entry into restricted zones. The Council's orders are clear. Confinement with Subject 47 Delta." Cora's compound eyes narrowed. Subject 47 Delta. The Zarthok. A creature from the nightmare worlds of the Outer Reach bred for one purpose, to kill. It had already slaughtered 3 inmates, each death more brutal than the last. The Council used it as their ultimate deterrent, a fate worse than execution, and now they were throwing a human into its den. Adam didn't struggle as the guards shoved him through the reinforced doorway. Cora had studied humans during her academy years. Fascinating creatures, fragile yet unpredictable. This one appeared calm, almost resigned. His dark eyes surveyed the cell with an intelligence that made her uncomfortable. The Zarthok emerged from the shadows, all 4 meters of scaled fury and razor-sharp claws. Its red eyes locked onto Adam, and a low growl rumbled from its throat like distant thunder. The creature had never waited this long before attacking. Usually the killing began immediately. "Observing something interesting?" Vex asked, noticing Cora's hesitation at the monitor station. "The Zarthok hasn't moved," she whispered. Adam stood perfectly still in the center of the cell. He didn't cower or press himself against the walls like the others had. Instead, he slowly lowered himself to the ground, crossing his legs in a sitting position. His hands rested openly on his knees, palms up, a gesture of complete vulnerability. The Zarthok circled him, confused. Its prey wasn't running, wasn't screaming. The creature's instincts demanded chase, demanded fear, but the human simply sat, breathing slowly, evenly. Hours passed. Cora remained at her post, unable to tear herself away from the monitors. Vex had long since retired to his quarters, confident he'd find a corpse by morning. But dawn approached and Adam still lived. The human had begun speaking. Cora enhanced the audio feed. "I know you didn't choose this," Adam was saying, his voice soft but clear. "They made you into a weapon. I understand that. I've seen it before on my world. We do terrible things in the name of control." The Zarthok had stopped pacing. It sat on its haunches, massive head tilted, listening. "I had a dog once," Adam continued. "They told me he was aggressive, dangerous, fit only to be destroyed. But I saw something different. I saw an animal that had been hurt, taught that violence was the only language anyone spoke. So I sat with him just like this, every day, patient, not demanding anything, just present." Cora's translator struggled with some of the human's words. Dog had no equivalent in Krillian. But the emotion in Adam's voice transcended language barriers. "It took 3 months," Adam said. "But eventually Max, that was his name, he trusted me. Became the gentlest creature you'd ever meet. Died protecting my daughter from a house fire years later." The Zarthok moved closer. Its claws, each capable of shearing through reinforced steel, retracted slightly. "I'm not afraid of you," Adam whispered. "I'm angry at them. The ones who made you this way, who locked us both in here expecting entertainment." By the time Cora's shift officially ended at dawn, she couldn't believe what the monitors showed. Adam lay curled on the floor asleep, and the Zarthok, the unstoppable killing machine that had terrorized her facility for 2 cycles, lay beside him, its massive form curved protectively around the human like a shield. When Vex arrived and saw the footage, his scales turned pale. "Impossible. Send in a guard," came a transmission from the Council. "Test the creature's loyalty." Cora's mandibles locked tight. "Sir, I must protest. Send the guard." The young Krillian soldier who entered the cell barely made it 3 steps before the Zarthok exploded into motion. But it didn't attack Adam. It positioned itself between the guard and the sleeping human, releasing a roar that shook the station's bulkheads. The message was unmistakable. Touch him and die. Adam woke, placed a hand on the creature's scaled flank. "Easy, friend, easy." The Zarthok calmed immediately. Cora made her decision in that moment. She opened the comm channel, broadcasting directly to the council chambers. This human has accomplished what your entire detention doctrine could not. He's proven that intelligence and compassion are greater weapons than fear. I'm recommending immediate release for both the human and Subject 47 Delta. The silence that followed felt like an eternity. Finally, the senior counselor spoke. Your recommendation is, noted Warden Cora. However, nothing, Cora interrupted, her career likely ending with those words. You wanted to break the human. Instead, he's shown us what humanity truly means. And if you force me to continue this experiment, I'll resign and take this footage to every news network in the Federation. Another pause. Then, released into your custody, Warden. Their behavior is your responsibility. 3 weeks later, Cora watched from the command deck as Adam and his companion, he'd named it Guardian, departed on a transport to the human colonies. The Zarthok, once the station's most feared inhabitant, pressed against Adam's side like an oversized pet. You know they'll study this incident for decades, Vex said, approaching her station. Cora's mandibles clicked in what humans would recognize as a smile. Good. Let them learn what I did. Never underestimate a species that can turn a monster into family simply by refusing to see it as one. As the transport vanished into slipstream, Cora returned to her duties, but something had changed. The humans, she realized, didn't conquer through superior firepower or advanced technology. They conquered through something far more powerful, the stubborn, ridiculous belief that anything, even a creature bred for slaughter, could be redeemed. And perhaps, she thought, that's what made them truly formidable.